So the city of Toronto shelter and housing. Don't worry, I'm not taking you, just the window. Thank you. Yeah. So there was an incident tonight at a warming center. That turned out was not a warming center. These individuals are here to repair it after rocks, I believe, was thrown through both windows. I believe that came from so many people that were left out in the cold, freezing, while the shelter stayed empty. They keep saying they're closing, but even if you're closing, you should keep the shelter full until you close. You don't kick everybody out because you're closing in a week or 3 days and still pay all the staff and all the security. This evening, my cell phone was stolen while there was only 3 or 4 people in the dorm and there was 4 security on. Another lady's bag was stolen. I'm not here to judge or to condemn anyone. We are just here to see that we do not impede people's attempt to save their lives. For someone to take rocks and throw it through these windows, that endangered those staff who was working up there, and it also endangers any client that was here. And that was due to the policies that's been put forth by the city. There has to be -5 for them to open up this shelter. So you'll leave the shelter open in -4, not -3, -2, and -1. We are asking the City of Toronto and Shelter and Housing to immediately keep the shelter open through the wintertime. And it does not have to be -5. It can be -1 or it can be 0 degrees. Because at that temperature, people can still freeze to death. And if you do not abide by this, then whoever is in charge of Shelter and Housing or in charge of the city, we're going to ask the Attorney General of Ontario to lay criminal charges against them for impeding someone's attempt to save their lives or the life of another person. It does not make any common sense that you would have 4 security guards and you would have the same amount of staff and you store up these beds saying that you're closing. So you keep the shelter full until you're closed. Then them on the date you're going to close. This is responsible action, and we expect the City of Toronto to reply immediately. As your candidate for Toronto Mayor and the expected incoming Mayor, I apologize to whoever this person is who had contacted me earlier and said this was their Facebook account. My cell phone that was stolen, the screen had cracked, and I just bought it for a couple $100. And in turn, I was going to get the screen replaced. And someone was selling a cell phone, and I ended up buying this cell phone off them. And because this cell phone was cracked, but it still worked, and the space in my phone was totally filled, and there was space in this for me to do my work. But in turn, I will contact you once I'm able to get a chart, and if you need this phone back, then I will return it back to you if it was a phone that was stolen from you. I was not aware of that. I thought it was somebody just selling a whole phone because of the condition that the phone was in. But let me address this issue, because this was a very scary situation. I had to lock myself and stay in the bathroom right while they wait for the police, as staff instructed me. And this would be a danger to anybody who was sitting here. In this case, it was a blessing that the shelter wasn't full. Right, but if it was full, this wouldn't have happened, because someone would have been this angry that they were left to freeze outside, that they would throw rocks through a window, in both windows. To God be the glory. Kevin Clark, campaign for mayor. Let's house the homeless, and let's make Toronto good again. And let's look out for the needs of one another. I did go outside, and I believe I cut myself on the glass, so now I got to go clean my wound. Imagine that.